So you have the Sony ZV-E10 and you are looking at rigging this for a professional shoot. So it could be the original Sony ZV-E10 or the ZV-E10 Mark II. So you want to rig this one up, and because the Sony ZV-E10 is very simple, lightweight, small, compact camera, so you want to put it into a rig to enable you to shoot properly out there, and especially if you want to do client work, base work and all that. This is going to be an amazing video to help you to be able to rig your Sony ZV-E10. And this is going to be very simple. So these are all the accessories that I'm going to use to rig this Sony ZV-E10. This is ABEiiKU. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Now the first thing is to have our Sony ZV-E10, and as you can see that our Sony ZV-E10 is very small, simple, compact, lightweight device that we are using. And for this device, we can see that it's very small and all that. So we need, the first thing that we need is to have our small rig cage. So the small rig cage for the Sony ZV-E10 is very interesting and helps the Sony ZV-E10 to have a lot of grip, especially if you look at this. It also has a lot of quarter threads, mounting ports and holes around it, which means that we can be able to mount this and have other extra accessories added to it. So let's put the Sony ZV-E10 into the small rig cage. Very simple process. You just insert it into it. It has two holes or pins around it over here, and then you just have to slide it inside like this, and that is very simple. Then you take this screw thumb over here and then screw it just like that. Then you use this one over here to tighten it. Here is the Sony ZV-E10 inside the small rig cage. Now you can open it and see our sensor size, 24 megapixel, which works really great. I mean, the Sony ZV-E10 is my workhorse. I mean, it's what I use to record most of my videos on my channel. But now technically now this one has become my overhead rig setup, and so this is just an amazing piece of camera. Next thing to do is to get our arm. So we have our monitor arm or the handler. So with this, I bought this one from Newer, which is relatively cheap to do. You can also buy from Small Rig or buy from Tilter and other accessories manufacturers out there. The thing to do is to look for these two holes over here and then place it right inside the Sony ZV-E10, just like this. And then you put this screw over here and screw it. So this screw over here is very simple. I like the fact that you can easily screw it without having to have any other kind of accessories. And if you want to remove it, you just turn it around and all that. So once you have it like this, it really becomes grippier like this. So your setup is over here, and then this is how it's going to be. It looks so cute over here. I think that the first thing that I want to do is to mount my microphone, because I realized that the microphone over here, which is the Rode Video Micro 2, which is very compact and lightweight, tends to have a little bit of block the way when it comes to this with this. So I'm going to try and mount it over here and see how it's going to be. So I want to mount my microphone over here. So you have a microphone jack over here, then you pull the microphone to this side and rightly insert into it. I mean, you don't need to follow the procedure I'm using. You can mount any one of which one that you want first, but I prefer to mount my microphone first because I really want to place the microphone in a proper direction and make sure that it is tidy up properly. Now the next thing to do is to mount our monitor, and the monitor that we're using is the ABEiiiKU A6 Mark II, which is from ABEiiiKU, and this is a 5.5 inches 1600 nits of peak brightness. So the brightness over here is very bright. The screen color accuracy is really top notch. I'll leave the review of this monitor in the description box because I have reviewed it on my channel. Newer monitor mount. Put it inside and screw it. So now we have screwed the monitor mount inside our monitor. And with this, you can make it flexible in such a way that you can easily rotate it. So the arm over here has a horseshoe over here and also has a horseshoe over here. So it depends on where you want to use it. So I would put it over here on front part, then screw it so that it becomes tightened up. Monitor mounts over here is that it helps you to be able to shift or rotate this kind of monitor to any angle and direction that you want. So you can also rotate it or give it kind of direction that you want. The next thing to do is to put our lens inside our Sony ZV-E10. The lens that my go-to lens that I've had for my ABEiiiKU is the Tamron 17-70mm f2.8. This lens is just super amazing. It records impressive videos. It has just an amazing color science. It's great combination with the Sony ZV-E10. It has vibration compensation, so it means that it has stabilization built in it. This lens is just really great, and the focal range on a full frame about 25mm to 105mm. That's just amazing. V10, align it so that the pins are all matched together. Then you have it over here. Add our extra accessories. So with the Anderson A6 Mark II monitor, it comes with a battery. So even if you don't have money to buy the Sony bigger versions from Sony or small rig, you can use this one, which is really amazing and gives you a lot of output for about, let's say, 2 hours you can record from this. So you put this one also over here, you slot it at the back over here. Now we have our monitor getting ready. Personally, what I like to do is that I like to have my setup, especially with my cables and all that, in a very compact way. So we just put our HDMI input over here. What I do is that I fold this one around this and then let it inside or put it inside the microphone area, closer to the microphone, especially with the isolation mount. And then you have our HDMI port over here. Then simply put it inside micro HDMI port over here, and voila, that is it. So it's a very simple setup that we are going for, and this is really great. It's all that you need to shoot professionally on this Sony ZV-E10. We have our Tamron 17-70mm f2.8 over here. We have our Sony ZV-E10 inside the small rig cage. We also have our newer handler. We also have a newer monitor mount. We have our Anderson A6 Mark II over here, and then we have our Rode Video Micro 2 monitor on like this. And then we put our Sony ZV-E10 also on. So we have a Sony ZV-E10 powered on, and now we have our setup over here. Outdoor recording, and you want to really get a great kind of setup for Sony ZV-E10 and to control exposure and all that, have a great shooting outdoors. You can use this K&F 5WD filter, which is 67mm, or the Tamron 70mm f2.8, and then you just tuck that one on it like this, and then you can open it up and so you can see whatever that you're recording. I mean, this is super intuitive. Ultimate rig for the Sony ZV-E10. If you like the video, kindly subscribe to the channel. My name is ABEiiiKU, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.